Entonces.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to TV8's Good Morning Vail for your Saturday, January 18th edition. It feels like this month is absolutely flying by so quickly. We've got a great show in store for you. We've got a couple of wonderful national holidays. I don't know if you're someone who loves gourmet coffee, well then that's a holiday you want to celebrate today, as well as National Soup Swap Day. And we're going to step into the kitchen with our master chef here at TV8, Kim. She's going to show us how to make some delicious things. Then we're going to make our way over to Skipper and Scout in Vail and talk with the owner about some great exciting news that they have. It's all taking place here on Good Morning Vail.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
This weather report is sponsored by Grand Hyatt Vail. Escape the cold and embrace the après-ski vibes at the Grand Hyatt Spa, where you'll find tranquility rooted in traditional alpine wellness.
Lens of the Day is brought to you by Eyepieces of Vail and Goggle Bar.
Welcome back to the show. Now, I love getting to talk about things that get you excited to get out there, ski or ride, and help you see better on the mountain. So right now I've got the Smith 4D Mag with the ChromaPop lens technology. Now, this is a great goggle. Because of that 4D technology that's in it, it increases your field of view by 25% with that bird's eye view. So as we take a look at this goggle lens, as I rotate it down, you can see that that lens continues right here, allowing you to see better out there with that 25% increase. Now, to change this goggle lens, all you do is pull these levers down. Then you're going to pull that lens right out. It's easy to switch. You're going to line it up. Make sure that it is fully lined up, that goggle lens is all the way in there, and then you're just going to snap those little levers back into place, securing your goggle lens, making it nice and easy to change. If I can change it here on the couch, well then you can change it out there on the chairlift. This is an incredible goggle to have your hands on because that ChromaPop technology means color pop, so it's going to help you see those colors better out there on the slope, so that way you can see better, so you can ski or ride better. Now, if you want to get your hands on this incredible goggle, make sure that you go to any one of the Eyepieces of Vail locations throughout our community, because we've got so many that you're going to want to check out, and there are some great places to get a helmet and some goggles. That way you are fully protected out there on the mountain. We want to thank Eyepieces of Vail for bringing you this Lens of the Day report this morning. If you're looking for new goggles, new helmet, or any vision needs, well then they're the perfect place for you to go. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show.
Good morning, Vail.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz. where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! HBCU! Black College Quiz! HBCU! Black College Quiz! HBCU! Yeah, man.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel, commercials, live stream events, studio production, and more. If you can dream it, we can help you do it. TV8 delivers high-quality content in both English and Spanish. Contact us today to discuss your next project. Email Danielle at tv8vail.com or call 970-628-9881.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television program that helps veterans find jobs and transition back into civilian life. Hi everyone, I'm Gigi Stone Woods. I'm truly honored to host this vital program. Reach out to the opportunities you see on this program by logging on to our website, hiringamerica.net, and by following us on social networking sites such as Twitter. We'll keep that information available throughout the broadcast and on our website 24/7. Now, let's get down to business.
Good morning, Vail.
The Avon Police Department has a very exciting new partnership that's leading some new technology in the police force. Well, we had the opportunity to sit down and talk with the new partner, and we can't wait to introduce you to them right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Avon Police Department recently partnered with Trulio, a transformative artificial intelligence partner in law enforcement, to use their AI-powered police officer assistant, becoming the first police department in Colorado to use this tool. To talk to us about this innovation and some of its key features, we have Anthony Tassoni, CEO and co-founder of Trulio. Anthony, thanks so much for joining us this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Daniel. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to talk to you, Anthony, about Trulio, a little bit about your company, how y'all are helping police departments across the nation, to improve their performance. But before that, I kind of want to hear a little bit of an overview of what is Trulio and maybe a brief history on the company.
Sure. So Trulio is a solution to the problem in policing. We have low officer morale, low recruiting, low retention. Most cities are at 80% capacity. So what Trulio is an AI-powered assistant that goes in the car with the police officer. First thing they do is they talk to it and they start to voice generate reports, right? They go to a call for service, they get in the car. We save them a bunch of time by having a conversation with the officer about what they just saw and experienced. Yeah. And we help write that report. Then the officer can ask Trulio questions about policy. Can I grow a beard? Can I have tattoos? I'm at this domestic violence call and mom and dad need to be arrested. What do I do with the kids? So this assistant is helping them understand policy, state statutes, and we're really excited to be able to help policing around the country.
Yeah, it's quite an innovation to be able to have this kind of tool, or as you mentioned it, this police officer assistant that is in the car with the cops when they are out in the field, and you're helping police departments across the nation, as you mentioned. One of them being the Avon Police Department here locally in our county in Colorado. How did y'all start working with Avon PD? What has been kind of some of that interaction or some of that feedback from the Avon Police Department or other police departments across the nation?
Yeah, so Chief Daly is a leader. They're an accredited agency. Most departments using Trulio are accredited, super professional, super squared away. And so Avon, actually, the AI assistant integrates into their officers' body camera videos. And the reason you want to do that is you want to give officers credit for doing a good job. You want to create an environment of positive reinforcement. So this AI can award the officer high professionalism, high composure. It can talk to the officer and provide coaching and suggestions on how to earn higher scores in Trulio. So the assistant can save officers' careers, it can save lives, it can make sure officers are operating at a level that's super professional.
Yeah, that's definitely a key component of Trulio is that retention, that performance that you mentioned. And I want to get into another thing that you mentioned, Anthony, and that is the body camera footage. That is one of the features that Trulio can do is review some of that footage, because if I'm not mistaken, only about 1% of body cam footage is usually reviewed, whereas Trulio can review much more. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that works?
That's correct, Daniel. In most departments around the country, they review 0% of body camera footage. Unless there's a horrific incident like a use of force or a civilian complaint, no one's watching any of those videos. Some departments do a random review that's full of supervisor bias and hurts officer morale. So Trulio's come out with 100% body camera review. That way you have an objective, unbiased process for reviewing and scoring officer language. And we see that really improves officer morale. They get credit for doing a good job. It holds everybody accountable, everybody to the same standards. It can help and maintain hiring standards. You might need to avoid X or accumulate enough Y to continue to be employed at this department. So the body camera integration of the AI assistant, it's really critical to maintain high levels of professionalism in the department.
And I can only imagine the amount of time that it saves as well for officers and police departments to be able to go through this footage on a much faster scale rather than having to do so manually or like you said, eliminate some of those biases that come with reviewing body cam footage. You also mentioned, Anthony, before the ability for officers to ask Trulio or ask this AI assistant any questions when they're out on the field. How does that work? Are they speaking directly into their computers, and then are they receiving feedback in real time? Talk to us a little bit about those voice-generated features.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So True Assist is on their laptop in the car, and they can push a button and begin to talk to it. They can ask questions about policy and state statutes. State statutes change all the time, very quickly. There's new technology like license plate readers, and there's different policies around pursuits and whether you can stop people or not. And so the officer will ask Trulio questions about what is in my policy. Remember, these are typically departments are young. About 70% of a department will have 3 years or less on.
Right.
So we need to keep educating and training officers on the latest policies and state statutes. So they'll ask Trulio questions about, can I grow a beard is the number one question inside Trulio at the moment. So even these policy manuals are quite long, and we can help them understand what's expected of them as an officer.
Yeah. And you also mentioned, Anthony, the ability for officers to ask it questions maybe related to previous incidents or previous calls. How does this work? Does the police department kind of program all this information into the system so then Trulio knows kind of what has happened before?
No, so the department just needs to flip some switches and give us access to these databases that already exist. So they have databases called records management system where they keep all their cases. And so if they give us the AI assistant access to that, then they can ask about previous calls for service, right? You might have a problematic business in the neighborhood and you have a new officer, and that officer is not aware of what's happened over the past 5 years at this location. So Trulio can summarize a location to an officer. So when they're driving, where it's very convenient and it's safe, they can listen to what's happened at previous calls for service. It really helps the officer be better prepared and informed and educated before they get to that call. And that inevitably leads them to ask about policy questions and what are the state statutes and why did that happen and what should I do? And again, it's just about preparing and educating and training officers before they arrive.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I feel like whenever we talk about artificial intelligence, Anthony, we always kind of have to talk about some of the challenges as well, some of the concerns. Have you all run into any challenges, maybe any ethical concerns, any privacy concerns, or maybe even accuracy issues when it comes to transcription, translation, some of those features?
We haven't because we submit ourselves to a lot of studies, right? So Trulio's done efficacy studies. We participate in civilian bias studies, audits. And I think if you're providing AI to American police departments, you need to submit yourself to these studies. And one of the things we do is we auto redact all PII. So any names, addresses, streets, socials, all of that is totally redacted in our product. The AI assistant will not transcribe that. It doesn't make it searchable. We don't want to be used as a surveillance tool. Trulio is an approved use case by these AI vendors. And so we're quite proud of the efficacy and ethical studies that have come out on Trulio that are available on our website.
Yeah. Such an interesting innovation that is definitely helping police departments across the nation. It's helping our local Avon Police Department, and I'm sure other police departments will continue to adapt to this tool. If there's any interest, Anthony, from other police departments, how can they go about in working with you guys?
Just go to our website, trulio.co, and click Contact Us. The voice generated reports are 100% for free. Any department can get started today.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Trulio.co is that website to find out more information. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us and telling us a little bit about this AI-powered police officer assistant that is helping officers out in the field. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you.
We're going to take a short break, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be back with more of the show after this. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Vail.
Next up, we've got a special duo from two of the best voices in the bluegrass and country genres.
We know you're going to love this one from Melanie Cannon and Willie Nelson. Here's Back to Earth.
The songs our love created, I still sing. And every night we make the rafters ring.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
I'm Jason Kennedy, and this is The Wager. Let's go, Wes! We've all heard about this pickleball craze. Celebrities are playing pickleball matches all the time, and they're challenging each other to these ridiculous bets. Now I'm bringing the cameras to their house with new celebrities and a new bet every week.
Hell of a rally there.
It's just real, genuine conversation.
I got invited to Usher's birthday party. What am I doing here?
And some pretty crazy antics.
TVA Vail is proud to announce the Wacky Winter Reading Program. We're asking children of all ages, K and even the teenagers going up to 12th grade, read 10 books or 1,000 pages by April 30th, 2025. You can find all the details on our website, tva-vail.com. Thank you to our sponsor, the lovely Eagle Valley Library District, where you can go pick up your book and have a great time. Have a great winter from your friends at TVA Vail.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today.
Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
Good morning, Vail.
Today is Gourmet Coffee Day, and I don't know about you, but I'm someone who loves a delicious latte. Well, Kim is going to step back into the kitchen because she is an expert at making all things homemade and delicious, and she's going to teach us how to make the perfect at-home latte.
We are in the kitchen for the second day in a row.
Yes.
I'm making Ross into a chef.
Yes.
He doesn't know yet, but that was part of the reason he signed up for this job.
Yeah,
Cooking lessons on air.
Yeah.
But we are actually going to make, I love a good holiday festive cocktail, and I traveled this past weekend, went to one of the local coffee shops, and they were all out of the festive holiday drinks. I know, can you believe it? So we are making a Starbucks dupe, or a fancy coffee shop dupe, I guess I shouldn't say Starbucks, a sugar cookie latte recipe. And the trick to that is all in the simple syrup. Did you know that?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Of course,
Yeah.
obviously. So it's super simple. You can use an espresso or regular coffee. If you're making this at home, chances are you're probably just making a regular coffee. But we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to make this simple syrup. And this is where the secret ingredient kicks in. So I'll tell you all about it. With it, we've got you've got 3 different extracts in this one. So a butter extract, and that's what's going to make it taste like the cookie. And we've got a vanilla extract and almond extract. So 3 different extracts, 2 different kinds of sugar, and some water. It's pretty simple.
Love it. Love it. Sounds
awesome.
delicious.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, Ross, I'm going to tell you what to do, and we're going to start mixing things up in our pot to make our simple syrup. So we need about 1/4 of a cup of water to get started, and the water will be our base. So we've got a bottle of water here. I've got the man in the kitchen to open things for me. Just kidding, I could do it myself. But we're going to pour about a half, we've got a half a cup right here, measurement style. So we'll just do about half of that with water. Then we'll pour the water in here. So looks great. We've got it, it's already heated, nice and sizzling. Next, we're going to add our sugar. So we've got 2 different kinds of sugar. If you want to reduce some of the sugar count, you can use a monk fruit sweetener, which is actually what we're going to do here today. We're going to do about 1/4 of a cup of this. So same thing, we're just going to take our cup measuring, or our measuring cup, and do about half of it. So no pressure.
Are we doing this monk fruit?
We're doing the monk fruit sweetener versus regular granulated sugar, but we will have 2 kinds of sugar in this. So just about half. Looks good to me.
Straight in?
Just dump it straight in there. Now we're going to add a little bit of the brown sugar, because if you recall, when you're making cookies from scratch, you usually have 2 kinds of sugar in it. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar into our mix. The tablespoons are the big ones. If you're not a big cook in the kitchen, make sure you use the biggest spoon for tablespoons. Okay,
we're getting there.
We're getting there. So it's really super simple, and you just want to start kind of just making sure that the sugar doesn't burn. We'll just do 2 of those. Yeah, it doesn't have to be super packed in there.
We're going to be a little generous with the brown sugar.
We are. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Now the next pieces are the fun ones. So we're going to go ahead and separate this. We need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So vanilla is like a staple in all things baking, you know. Yeah. We'll do about 1 teaspoon in here. There we go. Perfect. It's okay if you go a little extra, as I always say. Vanilla, you can always go a little bit overboard and it'll taste good. Then we're going to do a half a teaspoon of the butter extract, and that's what's going to make it taste like a cookie. So just a half a teaspoon of that. There we go. And then we're going to do a half a teaspoon of the almond extract. And I love a good almond flavor when I'm baking. Sometimes I actually swap out my vanillas and my almonds, and it tastes quite delicious.
It smells amazing right now.
It does, right? We're just having a little Christmas cheer over here. It's a sugar cookie latte, but I think you could really actually use it all times of the year, right? So we're just going to stir it a little bit. You know, it really doesn't matter. Minimal tools in the kitchen if you need it. You're just going to stir it. You can see it's starting to brown up a little bit. You just want to reduce it down and let it thicken.
Cool.
And then this is going to be our simple syrup.
Cool.
Now, the best part about simple syrup, making it from scratch, this will last about 2 weeks in the fridge if you wanted to keep it in the fridge. So that way you've got delicious lattes for 2 weeks long. It's probably just about the same price as buying it at a Starbucks. So I think it's a win over here. But then really super simple. You know, are you an espresso guy or are you a coffee guy?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Depends on the day.
All right. So if you were ordering, would you prefer a latte or coffee? What would you do this morning?
I like the skinny flat whites, like the small one, a little less milk, you know.
I'm about the same. So what's great about this, you can follow exact measurements to make this coffee cocktail, I guess you could call it, or you can kind of just freehand it. So we warmed up some milk. You can use any milk that you want to. So for each latte, you'd probably do about 3/4 of a cup of milk. But for you, if you prefer a little bit less, you can just do half if you want to. And so this is starting to look really good here. We're just going to let it simmer a little bit. And then you do about, to get a true ratio so you can really taste the syrup, you do about 3/4 of a cup of coffee. And then half a cup of, 3/4 of a cup of milk, and then 1/4 of a cup of coffee. So less coffee, more milk for that true latte. You can froth it up with like a little frother or steam it, whatever you've got on hand, or you can just warm it up and it tastes delicious.
Lovely.
So we'll go ahead and we've got our fun Christmas coffee mugs here, or winter coffee mugs, I guess you could say, and a little bit of coffee. So we'll pour some coffee into it. Wish us luck though, it could be messy.
So we'll do about half and half.
I'll do about half and half in there, and you just want to pour that in there. As you can see, this simple syrup is really starting to look nice. It's browned a little bit because of the different extracts that we've got. Smells delicious. Do you smell the sugar cookie?
Yeah, yeah. I also smell the coffee I just spilled all over the counter.
Hey, it's okay. You know, it's live TV, live cooking, all the deliciousness. So then once we do that, we can actually add a little bit of milk into both of them as well. And our milk is warm, so it's not going to cool down the coffee. And we'll just keep stirring it here. This simple syrup is looking great. And just keep letting it kind of burn down a little bit. And you know, it's bubbling up, and that means that it's reducing. So the sugar is starting to caramelize and get a little bit thicker. That's where the water base kind of keeps it from going. Loving Ross's face right now. One of my favorite things about being in the kitchen with Ross is watching the outcome.
You got a little cleaning up to do after this, that's for sure.
Hey, that's like a kitchen at home, you know? It's like made with love.
That's what it is. Well, when you bake, you have to be very precise, right?
Exactly. But you know, that's the beauty of this. We're not really baking.
It's just
the latte.
Yeah.
It smells like a cookie, but it's not. Cool. So, and then if you really want it to be sweet, and I'm like a medium sweet kind of girl. Okay. So typically I would do about 3 tablespoons of our simple syrup. But I don't know about you. I'm probably going to do 2 in this latte and try it out. So what's your
I'll take whatever's left over.
Well, hopefully not too much.
No, you
yep,
tell
it
me.
looks great to me. We're just going to go ahead and do a couple of spoonfuls here. One there.
That was pretty. You made that look very easy. You want to do another one?
We'll do another one. Why not? You know, it is pretty easy. And the best part is because our coffee's hot, we don't have to let this cool. It'll just taste quite delicious.
These are some nice mugs, too.
I won't tell you where I got them, but a local artist.
Love that. Love that.
By the name of Amazon.
Love that.
All right. And the best part about this is because it's the holiday season, I normally don't do whipped cream on my coffee. Yes. But we are making a delicious Starbucks dupe in a gorgeous mug. We don't have the paper mugs.
Yes.
I'm just going to do a little bit of whipped cream along the top. Do you want some?
There is more whipped cream than coffee right now.
Well,
and that's how I like it.
TBD. But this is what it would look like. You can add some sprinkles to it. Just quite delicious, and I think it smells so good. So
cheers.
Cheers. Happy Tuesday. Merry Christmas.
That's amazing.
And I taste a sugar cookie.
That's sweet,
It's quite delicious. So if you want the recipe, obviously ping us on our Facebook page, follow us on social media, and we'll share it with you. But it's great to have at home, especially if you're hosting a large group of people. You can just make them something delicious.
That was quick.
It was quick. Quick and easy. Not all things take forever. Anyways, we'll be right back. We are just getting started with our show. I'm really glad that I have a cup of coffee to enjoy over this next couple of hours.
Yep. All right.
We'll be right back.
Good morning, Vail.
Discover the perfect blend of style and performance in your eyewear at Eyepieces. With convenient locations in Vail Village, Lions Head, Beaver Creek, Edwards, Basalt, and Snowmass, Eyepieces is the destination for luxury eyewear and high-performance optics. From iconic brands to the latest in sport frames and snow goggles, we have the eyewear to match your mountain lifestyle. Plus, we offer prescription lens services, including eye exams, custom lenses, and prescription goggles for your mountain adventures. Visit us today to experience the art of vision. Eyepieces, serving the Vail Valley's vision needs for over 40 years.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey Morgan. I'm with Ron Byrne & Associates. And today I'd like to welcome you to Mine House and Mi Casa, a premier bed and breakfast right here at the base of Beaver Creek Mountain. Let's go inside.
This property is currently being run as a bed and breakfast with 20 bedrooms, all with ensuite bathrooms. Right now we are standing in Mi Casa, and next door we also have Mine House. A wonderful opportunity to own a turnkey hospitality business, but it's also an opportunity to own it as a private residence.
It can be sold all as one or in individual pieces, however you choose.
So now that we've had a chance to show you these two amazing properties, Mi Casa and Mine House,
We would love the opportunity to show you in person. Give us a call.
Good morning, Vail.
Today is also Soup Swap Day. That means you make a delicious soup and you swap it with a neighbor. Now Kim is going to step back into the kitchen and teach us how to make tortellini soup. That way you can participate in the swap.
Now, back in the kitchen, this is one of my favorite things to do here on Good Morning Vail. And as the weather changes, I also love good, hearty, comforting foods, but also I actually love to eat soup all year long. So I'm going to show you a simple soup that you may have all the ingredients on hand to make at home, but it's 3 ingredients, maybe 4 if you're feeling fancy. This soup reminds me very much of growing up and the small town Italian restaurant that we had. It's called tortellini in brodo, which is basically tortellini in broth. How simple is that? So I've got chicken broth right here, and it does not matter what kind of chicken broth you want to use. I particularly like to use the free range, lower sodium, just so that I don't feel swollen when I'm finished eating my delicious soup. Then you've got greens. You can use any greens that you want to. I'm choosing to use spinach. If you wanted to feel fancy, you can always add some mushrooms into it as well, but you want to make sure that you thinly slice them so that they cook and just about as evenly as everything else. Now we also have our tortellini, super easy. 3 cheese tortellini, you can put whatever kind of tortellini you want to, but this is usually my go-to, and most grocery stores have this on hand. And that is literally it. 3 ingredients. If you're feeling fancy later, we can top it with some Parmesan. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and turn on our stove. You just need a simple pot. That is it. And then we're going to go ahead and get our chicken broth into the pan. All right. So all you're going to take is, you don't have to measure anything out. We're just going to pour this all the way in here, and we're going to let it come up to a nice boil. Once it comes to a boil, we'll add in our tortellini, and we'll let those cook as well. So this is probably a nice 2 to 3 servings, depending on how much you want to eat that day. But it's nice and light, but also comforting and just very delicious to eat. Now, this reminds me of my childhood, my favorite restaurant at home. It's this tiny little Italian restaurant called Renato's. And what they basically did is they had the tortellini in brodo. It was my favorite soup. To this day, it still is. So I'm always looking up ways to kind of reinvent that soup. So we're going to go ahead and just let this warm up. I can see it's starting to boil up, but soup is just one of my favorite meals to make. You know, I like to do a chili. That's usually a go-to. This is a nice and easy one. If you wanted to add other ingredients outside of the tortellini and the greens, You can do like a kale if you wanted to. Spinach is usually a nice and easy greens to add into the soup because it cooks and wilts down very quickly. And then you can add some meats if you wanted to, or you could go with the tortellini that has the meat stuffed inside of it. I like the cheese because that is a classic Italian dish as well. So we're just letting it boil up. I can feel the heat from the gas stove here. It's getting warmer. I can start to see some of the bubbles starting to come up to the surface. You may not be able to see it on camera yet, but it is going to happen. Now we did that. We're going to go ahead and cut open our spinach. One of the things with the spinach I like to make sure is I don't love the stems and spinach. So I always rip all of my stems off, and I usually will rinse them off as well just to make sure that everything is nice and clean. So I'm going to cut it open. We've got our spinach nice and cut open, and then I've got a spoon here to stir the soup as needed. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and take my spinach leaves, and I like to rip off all of the stems because to me the stems kind of get stuck in your throat. They're not as easy to digest, so I just rip them off just like that. We throw the leaves in here, and then I'll do a quick rinse of the leaves. It's okay if there's a little bit of water left on them as well. So it looks like these are looking good. We're just gonna keep on just sifting through the spinach to make sure that none of the stems are left on it. And you can put as much or as little. Spinach does wilt down pretty drastically. So I would say we're going to be working on this for a minute while we let everything else kind of cook together. So just going to throw my stems on the counter here, and then I'll throw them out when I'm done using them or done shedding them from the leaf themselves. So we'll just do that a bit, and it's looking good. I love the smell of chicken broth. I know that means like a nice, delicious meal is coming my way. So we're looking good on these spinach leaves here. I'm going to just keep on ripping them apart. Now, I may actually just hand rip the spinach as well, but we'll wait till the last step to decide if we want to do that, just so that it's a little bit easier to digest. It's smaller bites, smaller pieces, just to make sure that it's a nice, delicious, spoon-filled soup. Looking good. We are seeing the bubbles. As you can see, it starts when bubbles are starting to boil. You can see it comes from the outside inward into the pot. So it's nice and thin. We're going to go ahead and put our tortellini in there into the broth itself. Now, I have scissors here. We can cut it just like that instead of trying to stab the product and potentially injure yourself. You don't want to do that. So we'll go ahead and get this packet open. Now, looking great. With the tortellini, it's really easy to tell when they're done. They're going to sink to the bottom. We're going to pop them in there, just like that. And then they'll rise to the surface when they're done cooking. Now, depending on if you want them al dente, you can kind of test it earlier. But this is even better because you don't have to worry about having to rinse them and pouring them back into it. We're cooking it directly into the broth. Tortellini in brodo, so nice and easy. Nice and easy there. Now I'll give it a quick little stir, just like that. And we're going to let it continue to boil, let the tortellini cook. I'd say it'll probably be about 5 minutes or so for it to fully cook. And then we'll add the spinach into it maybe just before they're finished so that the greens can wilt and all melt together. And then if you want to add some Parmesan cheese on top of it, if you're feeling fancy, if you like a little kick, you can always add additional Italian spices to it. Maybe some red pepper flakes, whatever your choice is, but this is literally the most simple soup to make. You just throw some broth together, throw some tortellini into it, and we'll just keep adding some more spinach to it. You can add the mushrooms, the spinach. I would say you can even add onion if you want to, but really the base of the soup is the greens, the tortellini, and the broth. And now you can see the bubbles are just really coming together. We're getting a nice boil going here. As soon as it really starts to be a full rolling boil, we'll reduce the heat down to about a medium so that they can cook and just really kind of simmer and melt into that broth there. So it's looking great. I'm ready to eat. I know it's technically breakfast time, but I am ready to have soup because I can eat soup any day of the week. I tell you what. All right, we're going to go ahead and give these guys a little bit of a rinse here in a second. I'm just going to keep just ripping the stems off of the spinach. I know some people think that's ridiculous, but for me, I just don't like the spinach stems. I don't know, I don't like the way that they feel in my mouth. So we're going to go ahead and get this going. I'd say this is probably good for now. We can always add more later if we want to, but I'm going to give it a quick little rinse. We're just going to rinse it in our sink here. And I'm rinsing them because it will basically, just to get any excess, there may be some excess dirt from when they were harvested. We'll just rinse it out and then just pour out the spinach just like that. All right, looking good? All right, you can see that our tortellini is boiling. Now you don't want it to boil for too long because basically what happens when it boils is that the broth starts to evaporate through the air. And so we want to make sure that we don't evaporate it too much. So we're going to lower it down to medium. The tortellini are looking great. They are starting to kind of rise to the surface there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my spinach going. We're going to start ripping it up a little bit and then throwing it into the pot just so that it cooks just like that. Looking great. It smells great. Again, if you want to add more spices to it, you can. You can add the Italian seasoning, the red pepper flakes. I would do the red pepper flakes afterwards. That is only if you like to have a kick. So just keep doing that. And then, as always, adding some classic Parmesan or mozzarella, or you can just leave it because it's already cheese tortellini. We've got some Parmesan here, so I'll probably add a little bit of that when I eat it later, but we're just going to let it continue to simmer down. It's looking great. Oh my gosh, it smells great. We're just going to let it keep cooking, let those greens melt into the soup. And if you wanted to, we could even just put the lid on it just like that and let it kind of meld together. It's going to be delicious. But that is a 3-ingredient soup, tortellini in brodo. It reminds me of my childhood, and I cannot wait for you to try it at home. Let us know if you're watching live on YouTube or Facebook, and we'll be back right after this.
Good morning, Vail.
The season starts when Nate Dogg, Trailer Tom, and friends have started the season in front of you.
There it is, the white ribbon of living.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And on that very first chair, 2 very familiar faces who've been in line for 2 days.
My name is Nate Dogg, N-A-T-E, D-O-G-G-G-G.
My name is Trailer Tom.
Nate Nadler and Tom Miller live nearby.
I feared nothing but not getting first chair.
Second chair nightmare.
Yeah, it's a second chair nightmare.
My goal is to continue to fight for this first chair as long as I'm physically able. First chair coming at us one more year.
Join us on board the Leadville Railroad Winter Express. Stay cozy in our heated lounge cars. Marvel at the stunning winter landscape. Sip delicious hot chocolate. Don't forget to check out our new specials. Book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail.
A great boutique in Vail is Skipper and Scout, and they have some exciting news as they recently opened a moon boot room. Well, Gretchen had the opportunity to chat with the owner and get all of the information. So let's introduce you to Skipper and Scout.
Welcome to Good Morning Vail. I'm so excited. I have an amazing human being on the couch with me, Carrie Roach, Skipper and Scout. Everyone, I feel like you don't even need an introduction, Carrie. Everyone in this valley knows you, loves you, and loves Skipper and Scout. How are you doing? Good. So before we start off talking about all things moon boots, obviously, how amazing is this? I have to say I love that your outfit, your moon boots, match the vibe, the color scheme of your store. Good on you. I'm proud. I'm impressed.
We're Broncos.
No, you're good. So, Carrie, I know Skipper and Scout, first of all, has been around for how many years here?
We just celebrated 10 years.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's a huge deal. Congratulations. And I know a lot of times people think it is for children, but that is not correct. And I want you to explain why.
Well, you know, we definitely cover the gamut. So we always say babies to tweens. And then for the most part, we've always been something for everybody. So our biggest brand that we started out with in 2014 was Evader Nation. So we have that for kids and adults. And so I like being able to dress the whole family.
Yes.
And so that's why this kind of concept, came to being.
Which I love because obviously we've talked many a time to you for Skipper and Scout, and we love the store. And to add a little bit of icing on the cake, and now we have a moon boot pop up, which we're going to talk about. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I had an opportunity to pop next door and gain about 250 square feet.
It is a big space. I have to say, I was shocked. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're not kidding. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, my biggest thing was, I don't know, we sold a lot of boots last year with people not really being able to sit down and try them on.
Right.
And so we wanted to kind of create a little lounge area where, really like a boot lounge.
I was just thinking, I remember when I came in to get my moon boots from you, and I was sitting on the ground and walking around. So that's brilliant. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And so it's all things moon boots. Yes. We have from children to adults and everything in between. Kind of walk me through the whole concept of the moon boot.
Yeah. So again, I love being able to sell to the mom, the baby.
Yeah.
And we do get people who want to kind of match and coordinate.
Love that. Yeah.
So they definitely have kind of the the giftable stroller option for babies. Start them young.
I love that.
And then
how cute! I can't that is the cutest, littlest thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, I can't. That is darling.
A really little pink one, love to match.
Yes, and these are so. Really, how stylish. And I will say this: both boys and girls.
Yes,
I could see anyone rocking these.
Yeah. So we definitely want to be able to hit boy, girl, mom, dad. Some of the toddler sizes are really truly a boot size.
Okay.
So I'm a 4 or a 13 or a 1.
Okay.
A very specific size. And then when you get into a certain style, which is kind of our tall and then our tall and our lows, that's where it's really necessary to kind of come in and try on and find your size.
And I love it because you were saying that also they kind of go towards your foot, or what is it called where they...
Well, so it molds to your foot.
Molds to your foot.
Yeah.
See, I never knew that. So it's like a ski boot in a lot of ways. That's amazing. But way warmer.
Yeah. I know from wearing mine, I throw them on and now I know this is my left and that's my right.
Okay.
Yeah. But they are a little bit of ambidextrous, but it's kind of a range.
Okay.
So, if you're an 8, so sometimes people will be kind of on the cusp of, one size and have to go up to the next.
Right. We have to talk about this one. I'm sorry. I'm so biased. They're all so cute, but I'm obsessed. This one's a little bit different, I feel like.
I know. I previewed that at Birds of Prey at World Cup.
Love.
And, you're staying there for, 6-7 hours.
Yeah, no big deal. In the freezing cold.
Outside the whole time. Not cold and not hot when you go inside.
That's brilliant. And that's a big thing to say because you and I both love being outside, but also we're going to go have a bite to eat, a glass of wine, etc. And you don't want to be roasting. And that's brilliant. And I love that this one's a little boho chic.
Yes.
So they all bring a different vibe. We were talking before about I'd wear leather pants and wear those out, or wear them with, the black with my bib overalls skiing.
Yes.
You could do dress it up, dress it down. Same with these. I would wear these even with my jeans tucked in, super cute.
I have to say I have a few pairs.
Yeah, I know you do. I'm the fashion girl over here. I love all the different styles. They're all so unique and cool and different and chic, which I love.
No, and I always say they're warm, they're water resistant.
Yes.
We have a lot that are waterproof.
Cool.
You stand in a puddle, you're going to get wet.
Right.
But yeah, so it's been a fun trend.
I love, and it's function and fashion, which is dope. And I love these 3 are kind of spring. They make me feel
That's why I wear these colors. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Tell us about those.
Well, we've got spring break coming up.
Yes.
And so one of the things that we really wanted to do for kids and adults is they're coming on vacation. And a lot of times, certain styles are coming out just as they're about to get here.
Right,
so we're buy yours, wear them for the week, and we'll ship them home for you.
Okay, so we have to say that again, and thank you for reminding me. How cool is that? You wear them all week long, and then like I was saying, you and I both are so like luggage oriented, and you're like,
where are we with it?
Yeah, literally, where am I going to put this? They'll ship them home for you. That's rad. I mean, that's a huge plus.
Yes.
That would make it or break it, so that's awesome.
Yeah, if someone's feeling luggage inhibited, and
Right.
we'll help you out there.
Oh, that's brilliant. And then price point, Carrie, what are we looking at?
I would say, I always talk about an average.
Yeah.
So a good average is about $240.
Awesome.
So that.
Cool.
And then, as you said, you kind of start to go to your,
Right.
chicy,
Right.
beaded ones. You'll top out around 500, and that's kind of a cheap, a little higher for you.
But they do last, I will say,
They
because
do.
I've worn mine. I've had them for over a year, almost 2 years, and like I love them, and they do last, and they're functional and fashionable, which is so important
Well,
in this town.
I'm like, my originals from 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh! I mean,
I
look
know.
at that, but like literally, they look almost brand new.
They're a little dirty. They're a little dirty and loved.
I
but-
love them.
Yeah.
Well, and what was the brand too that you were talking about? I thought that was really cool.
Okay, yeah. So what's new in last year's is Technica. So a lot of
Okay.
people know that from the sports world.
Okay, yeah.
Bought it, improved it. Looking at some traction, and then again looking at a bit of the foam that's in there, and just making sure that it's technically sound. So Technica got
cool.
involved
I love this.
since its inception way back when.
Okay, and then you said, Carrie, you are going to have your pop-up store open till when? About when are we?
Till the mountain closes.
Okay,
We've
awesome.
got Easter. It's a little bit later this year, and so well into April.
That's awesome. That is so cool. And let everyone know where. I mean, I feel like most people know where you're located, but just in case one person out there doesn't know, where is Skipper and Scout located?
We're right on East Meadow Drive.
Yeah.
So you come out of the public transportation. I think the main one, and if you veer off a little bit to the right, you'll see our orange sign. So it's hard to miss.
Yes, and you do. I have to say too, I've come to a bunch of events. You do really cool things all season long, which is really fun. You've done so many different hair tinsels and so many different events, book signing, like tons of things. So that's kind of fun too. If people are interested in that, can they go on a website or social media? Because I know you're very active on social media too.
Yeah, definitely on Skipper Scout Vail. Also on our website, we'll have all of our events with spring break. We've got some fun dance flash mob and
Love
DJs and
so cool.
Some face painting and anything we can kind of try to do to just bring kids joy.
And it's funny too because I love that you said that because it does spark so much joy for children. I don't have children and I've gone and had so much fun. And I'm like, I'm a grown woman, but it is really for everyone. Like it is so much fun. And
Thank you.
Especially seeing some of the littles come in and just get so stoked and so happy. It's awesome.
Thank you.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I've got a great team that really tries to make it an experience.
Yes.
Whether you buy
do.
something or not, you at least had a great time coming in.
I will say you have amazing people that work for you and with you because every time I go in, you feel joy and it's happy and fun. But you have such nice people and knowledgeable too. I'll say because that's important. I mean, I would have never known that these boots are actually let's be real. I care about the fashion, and you're like, no, but Gretchen, they're functional too. You're not going to be freezing. I'm pretty soon here going to be out in the cold in Aspen in a couple of days, and this would be great for me. So yeah.
No, you'll definitely see them well equipped in Aspen, and definitely here Vail.
I see it in Vail a lot, which is cool. But it makes me happy because I always think of you now because I'm like, ooh, Skipper and Scout, Skipper and Scout. It's so awesome.
Thank you.
Are we going to be seeing? So I know these are just you pulled a couple of the colors. Tell me maybe. Just to top it off, what your favorite vibe is, your favorite color right now?
Again, since
Loaded
it's
question.
spring and December's behind us, I'm kind of I wanted to bring some bright, kind of fun colors.
Yes.
I'll say that probably the traditional, people will go conservative and go with a black or, a white, just kind of, it'll go with everything.
Right.
But I'm like,
Bring the pop of color.
I think it's fun to bring the pop of color. Yeah.
I feel that.
So these have been fun for,
I love that.
For spring.
That's awesome.
Make an outfit. Yeah.
Well, Carrie, you're amazing. Skipper and Scout. Everyone needs to check it out. The Moon Boot store, the pop-up store, connected. So you go in Skipper and Scout, you'll see it right there. Check it out. And thank you for coming in and sharing. I think I'm going to have to come in tomorrow and get another pair. Yeah. True story. Next time you see me, I'll be wearing my moon boots. Thank you, Carrie, so much.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. And keep it right here. We have more Good Morning Vail to come.
Good morning, Vail.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits. Woo. Eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Popstar Today.
Stevie Lee Woods presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
It's where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I read my first car, I tore it all to pieces.
Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Good morning, Vail.
We want to thank you so much for tuning into your Saturday edition of Good Morning Vail. We love getting to be here to bring you all of this wonderful information, maybe inspire you to try some new recipes at home, swap some soup with a neighbor. That way you can just bring all the camaraderie and love into the community, and then of course get out there and do some shopping with some of our great local shops. I've been your host, Maddie Evans, and we'll see you next time here on Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
From small towns to big cities,